So what is a nested loop and how to work with nested loops? And this is one of the very important area. You should be very good. So let's start with that. Nested loop means a loop within another loop. What is nested loop? It is a loop within another loop. That's called as nested loop. For example, I'll take the syntax of a for loop, nested for. Maybe you can apply the same for while, do while, anything. Do you understand? It's not just specific to only for. It's applicable for while, it's applicable for do while, anything, okay? And this syntax looks like this. For, I hope you have idea about the for loop. For initialization, and then what is that? Semicolon, condition, semicolon, incrementation or decrementation. I hope this is clear, dudes. Okay, fine. So again inside this one more for. What is that? Again inside this one more for. Again inside this one more for. What is that? Inside this one more for. And you keep on adding any number of fors, for inside for, for inside for, for inside for, for inside for. But of course, it depends on requirement. For inside for means you don't need to keep on adding as many as you like. Generally, it depends on the requirement in the project. It's not like your wish or someone or my wish. It depends on how many you need it. Based on that, we add. But this is the basic idea. For inside for is nothing but what is that? Nested for. It doesn't mean that you need to just only put two for statements. You can have as many as possible. That depends on the necessity of the application. I hope this is clear. Do you understand this? And after that, this is outer for. This is inner for. And you know, friends, if outer for executes for one time, outer for executes for one time, inner for executes until condition is false here. For example, let me take a small example to make you understand this. Suppose I'm writing a small program using for. I'll just show you how the execution flow is. Look at this now. You take a for loop for into. Maybe if you want, you can declare variable at the time of initialization itself. That's possible with for loop. And especially in Java. Maybe it's not possible in C language, but it's possible in C++, it's possible in Java, it's possible in C#. Okay, as far as what I know, the languages which I have idea about. So you can directly initialize here. Of course, otherwise you can declare the variables, loop variables first, int I, comma, j, and then you can start declaring the inner for loops, nested for. Suppose generally, why do we need nested loops? I forget to tell you this. Why do we need nested loops? If you want to go with some patterns, like triangle, rectangle, pyramid, table, if you want certain patterns, then you need nested for. Then when you need nested for. Suppose you want to go for printing patterns, as I told you, then you need nested for. Otherwise, one for is enough. If you don't need any pattern like displaying data in the form of table or rectangle, a triangle or anything else like this, you need this nested loops. You understand this? And let me just show you I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10. Maybe you can take 5 otherwise. Semicolon I plus plus. Okay. I just need a simple pattern. I am trying to print a small program here using for loop. Let me just show you. My program is this here, just to showcase the example for nested for. I want this kind of pattern, rectangle stars. What stars, sir? I need just stars in rectangle form like this, I just need something like, 3 rows and, and 5 columns. You can see this. How many columns, sir? I need 3 rows. In each row, I need 5 stars to be printed. So if you want to print such type of patterns, you need this nested for. Are you following, folks? Are you following? Are you following? You understand this? So, means I need to print 3 loops here, 3 rows, and each row having 5 stars. How many stars? 5 stars. So, means your outer loop should execute for 3 times. How many times?
3 times.
3 times. So up to 3. Maybe you ask me, if I put 5, then you get 5 rows. You put 10 rows. Then inner loop, how many times it should iterate? 5 times. Every time when I outer loop executes for 1 time, the inner loop should execute for 5 times. How many times, sir? 5 times. For int j equal to 1, I'm sorry, already j is declared. Semicolon, j less than or equal to 5, semicolon, j plus plus. Open this. Now I want this in this pattern. The outer loop will give you number of rows and the inner loop will print the pattern, the stars. How many stars you want in each row is printed by the inner loop. The pattern comes with this nested loop. Do you understand this? This executes for 3 times. This executes how many times? 3 into 5, 15 times. Each time when outer loop is executed for 1 time, the inner loop is executed for 5 times. If outer loop is executed for 1 time, inner loop is executed until the condition here is false. Condition here is false. Do you understand that? So friends, how do you print this pattern then? So you just say that system.out.println in double quotes, put a star here, enough, that's fine. But don't use ln here. You know, when you use ln, you get all the stars in line by line, not in the rectangle pattern, in the form of rectangle. If you use this and print it, of course you get some output, but you can see the output. All the stars are printed in vertical. Can you see that? But I don't want this. I want row by row displaying. What displaying? Row by row displaying of stars. So what do you do this? There is nothing much to do here. If you don't think it's a rocket science, trust me. Okay? Here, just remove this ln. Okay, fine. When outer loop is 1 and 1 less than or equal to 3 true, this is executed for 5 times. Means 5 stars are printed. When you remove ln, all the stars are printed in the same way. That's fine. After printing one row completely, then you should push the cursor to the next line. That's what you should do. And what do you do then? It's simple. Come here. Put one more print statement after inner loop. Which loop? I'm sorry, not here. It's not supposed to be here. You should put here. Put this after inner loop. What loop? Inner loop. Why? After printing all the 5 stars in one row, now you should push the cursor to the next line. You understand that? Should we do? We should push the cursor to the next line. Then again, this is fine. Now the condition here will become false after iterating this inner loop for 5 times. Again, you come here, I gets incremented, I becomes 2. 2 less than or equal to 3. Is it true or false? It's true. Again, this gets incremented, printed for 5 times, executed for 5 times. One more row is printed. Again, the cursor is pushed to next line. You understand this? Again, it comes to the outer loop. I gets incremented. I becomes 3. 3 less than or equal to 3 true. Again, it comes inside. Again, the inner loop is executed for 5 times. Again, 5 stars are printed. And in this way, you get this pattern when I execute this. Can you see that? Can you see the pattern? Yeah. Is it clear now? Is there any problem here to understand this? Is it simple or not? This is what you should understand when you are working with patterns, dear friends. You understand this? Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. My dear viewers, that's all, friends. This is how you can work with nested for. I mean nested loop. It can be while or do while even if this is for. The execution flow is similar. You don't have any big difference there. This is the way you need to work with nested loops. Got clarity here? So that's all, friends. Now I think we can work with a lot of patterns like triangles, printing rectangles, printing pyramids, diamonds, alphabets. There are so many patterns. Anyhow, you keep watching this channel and you keep learning much. Trust me. Thank you very much for watching.